Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here I have a great article for you guys from Mike over at Light Reading. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys could check it out. So the secret is out. AT&T is in a big cost-cutting transition when it comes to wireless. So AT&T has been trying to figure out for the last 24 to 36 months how to effectively still compete on wireless but not spend the same amount. You guys have heard me say this in several videos now that fiber internally has taken priority. The CapEx split has flipped. Majority of the CapEx moving forward is still going to fiber. So they are trying to figure out how to operate as cost efficiently as possible and still have a competing network against their competition. So recently we've seen some of those moves come to fruition. Some of those moves will continue through 2024. And is there a slight possibility that this backfires on AT&T? If we go by history, the carrier that was trying to cut costs the most during LTE was clearly Sprint. Sprint was trying to find everything in the book as it comes to cost cutting. They did at some point, I think it was 2016 or 17, when they cut CapEx down to like 2-3 billion, and they no longer wanted to build the network the traditional way, right? The towers, the macros, they no longer wanted to do that. They wanted to build the network in a completely different, innovative, new technology way. And that clearly backfired on Sprint, and Sprint today is no longer around. So I'm not saying that'll happen to AT&T, but is there a possibility that the way that AT&T is going allows for them not to have a similar performing network to the competition? So they're still going to compete. They're still going to be at scale. They're still going to build sites here and there, but it just won't be as good of a network as their peers. It's very possible. They're going with the O-RAN first. No other carriers doing that today. Verizon is focused on vRAN. T-Mobile hasn't really disclosed what they're going to do on that part. AT&T made a bold move. They're going first. They're going with Open RAN. They're choosing Ericsson 100%. As you see in this article, did Ericsson push CommScope out of AT&T too? So Nokia was an entire vendor, right? CommScope is a vendor as well that provided the multi-band antennas, the bigger ones for AT&T. And it looks like Ericsson could be taking over that too. Ericsson makes a similar panel, I was told, as well. So they could go all Ericsson 100%. But with O-RAN, they have the opportunity in the future, if Ericsson ever decides to raise pricing or they don't meet deadlines, targets, whatever, they have the opportunity to go back to Nokia or to go to a Samsung if they are a more proven vendor in the future. So that's a very strong possibility. But looking at it from a competitive standpoint, the next 24 months, AT&T is going to be very busy ripping and replacing Nokia markets. So that's where most of their time is going to be invested in. But they're doing it efficiently. They're only going to spend $2.8 billion on an annual basis for this rip and replace. Keep that in mind. They're not going out and saying we're going to have to spend $15 billion a year to do this. No, they're telling us $2.8 billion will be spent on the rip and replace. So like I said, to open up the video, they are looking at continuously competing on wireless, but in the cheapest, most cost-efficient way. That's what they're trying to do. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be on par in performance with the competition. Verizon and T-Mobile are continuously taking it to next levels. Verizon is continuing to scale the C-band. That may stop for a little bit for AT&T as they focus on this rip and replace. T-Mobile is already at 300 million pops today with its 2.5. They have another 40 megahertz of C-band across 225 pops to deploy. They have another 20 megahertz of DoD across 175 million pops to deploy. So they're going to be busy too. So AT&T just said, screw it, we're gonna go with the cost efficient way. We're gonna cut costs on wireless because we want to spend more on fiber. That's what this is all about. That's clearly 100% what it's all about. So I've been told. Fiber is the main priority, and now we have to make these changes on wireless because we still want to compete, but we have to do it in a cost-cutting way. And there's going to be other sections that AT&T will continue cost cutting. You guys will see that on the employee, the staff, they will continue cutting there. Recently, they announced they're going to move away from their to the Riven, I believe is what it's called. They're going to use that manufacturer for their cars. Why? Cost cutting. So there will be many, many more announcements like that in the future because they will continue to cut cost. The only section right now where they really can't cut cost is fiber because you have to materially scale fiber. That's expensive no matter how you do it, right? They did some of the leasing stuff with BlackRock, but as much fiber as they're laying on their own, they have to continue investing. You can't cut cost. They already have, I believe it's called Corning, that they have a factory for them here in the United States where they are making that fiber spool, and that's going to cost what that's going to cost. Unless they get another provider to build a factory to help drive that cost down, fiber is just going to be expensive. It's good. It's a good return on investment. They clearly said $1 spent on fiber is better return than anything they get on wireless, but the upfront cost is still very expensive. So there's no way around it. So they had to figure out a way how to flip the CapEx spend, make fiber a priority, but yet still invest adequately and efficiently on wireless to remain competitive in the market today. They believe they have it figured out by the bold move that they announced going with Fujitsu for the radios. That's going to be cheaper because Fujitsu is a small player that's just trying to get their feet wet. So they'll take any amount that they can get from AT&T. So we still have to see if that performs well, right? That's in theory a better play because of Ericsson, but we don't know how Fujitsu is going to perform. And then Ericsson gave them a sweetheart deal because they wanted that entire business. Ericsson is financially struggling a bit, so they took that deal. It's likely going to cost Ericsson quite a bunch of money to provide this, but it made financial sense for AT&T. They get to gain scale on a more modernized network. C-band and DoD is likely going to reach further than any plans that they previously had. And they did this by being more cost efficient. So leave all your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. If you are new to this video or to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow the social media outlets, hit the notification bell so you are notified when the videos go out. And this is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.